This has not been an easy episode to prepare for. As a matter of fact, the amount of starts and restarts, starts and stops that I've done already, I think this is take number 4, and I am certainly going to regret this when I'm running on short sleep by the time this video is up, or around the time this video goes up for the ECL broadcast that I'll be doing, because I'll be getting short rest for that. That said, though, I wanted to get this episode up and out to you guys, so here we are. Last episode, ridiculous. It's the only way to sum it up. The acquisition of Lindholm, Goodrow, and Tkachuk from Calgary completely changed the outlook of this team and what we're going to be looking to do today. And we do have a lot to get to, so I want to get right down to business. When it comes to goaltending, again, we're fine. Murray and Saros should be able to lock it down. Askarov gets one season in the AHL to just destroy that league before he ends up being our backup goaltender next year. Defensively, as talked about, the top 5, solid, but I don't trust Bruev, Taylor, and Piernes to actually develop Broberg as well, unless they're in the AHL, so we are going to be looking to acquire a defenseman, and I already know who that big-time defenseman is going to be. And then we get to the logjam of forwards, where flat-out 6 forwards are being traded, although a quick mention, there is a player that I have signed that I want to try out. His name is Rhett Gardner. I was looking at free agent centerman who could play on the 4th line, and I feel as though he fits the bill quite well, especially with the 90 face-off rating. So Rhett Gardner, no guarantees he's going to be amazing, but he joins the team. That said, meticulously crafted, I know exactly who I want to keep. What we get in exchange, I don't yet know, and that's what we're about to find out. So first things first, the big-time defenseman that I want to bring onto this team. We had 4 big-time defensemen scouted. Rasmus Dahlin, Cale Makar, Miro Heiskanen, and Quinn Hughes. You'll notice that we're on September 22nd. That's a little bit ahead of our stopping point, and that is because I used our Pro Scout to figure out exactly who belongs on this team. Rasmus Dahlin, unfortunately, is not a perfect fit. He only fits in on the PK lines. Cale Makar, not a perfect fit. Quinn Hughes, not a perfect fit. Miro Heiskanen is exactly what this team needs. He fits in everywhere. So Miro Heiskanen is who we're going to look to acquire. They don't want to trade him, and he has a full value bar, $9.5 million for the next 7 years. But right out of the gates, I'm going to try to get them to retain 50% on the deal, because we do have some high-value players that we're going to be looking to move here. First and foremost, we are talking, and we can sort this by forwards, we are talking not about any of the Calgary 3, because I didn't think it was going to be the case, but we're going to aim to win a cup this year, and because of that, the Calgary 3 stay. Also, Josh Waugh will not be signed. He's going to be better suited playing in junior for one more season before we give him an opportunity. The first player I'm looking to move on from is Christian Vesalainen. Unfortunately, he's just an odd man out. Good potential at that age with that overall. I mean, the 94 offensive awareness is tough to give up. But there you see, in terms of the scheme fits, that's what we're looking at here. He doesn't fit in on the second line. He's okay on the third. His best scheme fits on the top line, but there are 3 better players who also have a really good scheme fit with that top line. So unfortunately, Christian Vesalainen is just an odd man out. He just signed a new deal, but he's going to be gone. The second player that's going to be gone is Vitaly Kravtsov. Now, he's a cheat code, as a lot of created players are, but I just don't want to use him again. I just want to use different players this time. Ultimately, he fits in okay. Like on the 3rd line, I wouldn't want to play him on the 4th line. It'd be a waste. So Vitaly Kravtsov's also going to go, and these are the 2 main players that I'm going to use to look to get this deal done. Although, clearly, it's going to be a lot that we have to do. That said, I also need to look to acquire an AHL-level defenseman, and someone like John Merrill would be perfect. Dallas would be over the cap for next season, apparently. I might not actually be able to get them to retain on Heiskanen. This is going to be interesting. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pull this deal off, but Miro is the guy that I need. And we're also going to be looking to throw goaltender keeping into the deal because we know he's not going to work. So, unforeseen circumstance here. I need to find somebody to tack on to this deal that doesn't have a lot of trade value and that's on an expiring contract. And someone like Ryan Getzlaf isn't going to help all that much. But he could be added to the deal and then flipped. Okay, so in terms of salary retention, we're not going to be able to get him on full retention, unfortunately. Let's work this down a little bit and see what their exact number would be as to not be in cap trouble next year. Bottom line is we can afford Miro, no problem. But obviously, I want to save as much money as I possibly can. There is the sweet spot right there, 40%, which would still be fantastic. If this goes through, I'll take it as it stands. I certainly don't expect it to go through, and it did not, which is fine by me. That means we can get into adding another player into the mix. Again, this is the main big deal that I'm worried about in terms of getting this done. Next up, it's going to be Peyton Krebs. I hate to say it. We used him in the Vegas series, though. I mean, offensive awareness, again, through the roof, really solid defensive player. But again, you see the scheme fit. He's not going to get a boost unless he's on the top line, and he's simply not going to play on that top line. There's no way. So we're going to look to move out Peyton Krebs as well. Hopefully there's another defenseman that I can add because I do need defensemen more than forwards. I could just add Jovanovski as a healthy scratch. I don't really want to, though. He's not that good. Let's see. It's going to have to be him. So here, we'll add this Jovanovski kid just as a healthy scratch option on defense in case we need a body. Will this go through? Still no. Not really that surprising. This is going to get to be expensive. But at the end of the day, we're going to do what we have to do to pick up Miro Heiskanen because he is exactly what we need. Aside from that, I mean, we're looking at Dominic Bach, who just doesn't work, unfortunately. Again, the offensive awareness and everything's looking good. He's just outmatched. Like, he fits in pretty well anywhere, but it's just he just doesn't fit. I'm sorry. He just doesn't. It's not exactly the perfect scheme. I mean, it is the perfect scheme fit for him, but just not the perfect situation. We could pick up Gertzen. I don't know if this deal will go through. Unsurprisingly, it didn't. So we're going to take out Bach and take out Gertzen. We are still going to have to try and figure this out here a little bit. I don't know if the Carolina first will be enough. I don't expect it to be, and it's not. So this is where it gets to be problematic, trying to trade for Heiskanen. Again, though, he is exactly what I need. This could force me into a change of plans unless I give up somebody else. And I really didn't plan on giving up really any of the top players that you see here because this team is going to be so friggin' dominant with them all. We're going to have to wheel and deal in different ways to set up this Heiskanen trade. That's what we're looking at. So let's get down to business to defeat the Huns, shall we? We got a little bit to do. A little bit to do in the wheeling and dealing department. So anybody who's not worth a first can be on the move. Sarainen can stay. Poulin's fine. He's going to be in the AHL this year. Kavanoff's fine. But Dominic Bach, I'm going to look to move in a separate deal. I don't obviously want to move him to Dallas. Columbus could work because I'm going to be looking to get back draft picks. So Columbus is first. They don't want to move, so never mind. Chicago, do you want to move that first rounder? Yes, you do. Perfect, although you'd have too many skaters, so never mind, not perfect. Boston could work for Dominic Bach. Awesome, they want to move picks. So we'll do this, this, and this. A little bit of pick hoarding for the soul. Take out a third. Take out another third. Wow, really? And I guess that is pretty close as it stands. What about a first and 2/3 from the Bruins here? Will that go through? Still no. What about just a first and a third? Dominic Bach, we'll see you later. Thank you very much for your time. But you are on the outs. cross his name off the list of players that are on the outs. Next up. I forget who's next up. It's just big name players with the exception of Lawson Krause, who needs to go. Obviously, we're not going to be able to acquire much for him, but in terms of fourth line fits, he just doesn't fit in where we need him to fit in. So if I can get a third rounder for him, I'll be pretty happy. I can't even get a third rounder for him. That's pretty sad. What about 2 fourth-round picks from Anaheim? Will that work? Yes, it will. So Lawson Krause is out of here. Unfortunately, that leaves us with 4 other players on the list. Again, right now, our target, really, we need to double check here. High-value first-round picks that teams are willing to move. That is the goal to acquire right now. It's just a matter of whether or not anybody fits the bill, because first-round picks are a lot easier to move than actual talent. That Columbus first is going to be a bit of an issue. Edmonton's pick has a little bit more value. Los Angeles, that's a bit problematic. It's like LA and Montreal, Nashville. Those are the type of picks that I'm looking for, but they just don't want to move them. Who's the presumptive number 1 overall pick? A bit surprised here. St. Louis's pick was pretty high. Unfortunately, a lot of these picks are going to be tough to pick up. Pun intended. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tricky. This is going to be a little bit tricky to see if we can pull this off. And I don't know if we'll be able to. But again, I'm for damn sure going to try. Because Miro Heiskanen's, he's our guy. That's who I want. And damn it, it's who I'm going to get. And I am stubborn enough. I'm stubborn enough to say, okay, and I'm getting this player with, maintaining the game plan that I set heading into this episode. And that is absolutely happening. So with that extra pick involved, I'm going to go back to Dallas here. We're going to mess around a little bit. So for Miro, and actually in general, who do they have that takes up a ton of cap? It's like Jamie Benn is a problem player for me right now. But if I can get Jamie Benn off of their roster, that helps quite a bit. Because then I can retain the full 50 on Miro. But then again, even then, 40% on Miro is all right. I'm just surprised Ben isn't a negative value player at this stage. So we'll go 40% for Miro again. It's going to be a little bit difficult to pull this off as I intended. But we're going to see what we can do here. So that 40% for Miro. And in terms of value, again, I want to get this deal done without losing anybody that I didn't plan on losing. It might have to happen, though. Is Kravtsov making anything? No. But Cirelli and Vesalainen are both making money. So let's use Kravtsov, Krebs. We use the goaltender in keeping. And we'll go down to picks. Use the Boston first and use our own. So they'd have too many players. I don't even need to pick up Merrill. I can just pick up whoever. Lowest value that they want to get rid of. Gertson. Fine by me. Will this go through? No. As much as I want Miro Heiskanen, I think he's going to kind of ruin my plans here. I think he's going to ruin my plans. Which really sucks. It really sucks. So Peyton Krebs might be off the chopping block here. In terms of who's on it, it might be Dahlman that's actually going to face the music here. Vesalainen, decent fit on the third line. Cirelli, on the third line. But Krebs, for him on the third line, also meh. Does Vitaly fit well on the third line? Vitaly Kravtsov may have just been saved. Out of necessity, I might have to use him again. I'm thinking I'm going to have to use Dahlman here. As much as I don't want to, I'm thinking Dahlman's the guy. We use Dahlman. to get Heiskanen. Kravtsov slots in for him on that third line. It's not a bad bit of business. So let's just say theoretically it's Dahlman and keeping. Doesn't go through. I can still use other people if I have to. Which would include Peyton Krebs. Because of their cap issues. So that would go through. But they're just shaky on the proposal. Unfortunately, I have no other way to pull this off unless I swap out Dahlman for Kravtsov. So I hate to say it, but give something to get something. Isaiah Dahlman's got to go. Solid player, for sure. But I have faith in the plan that I'm putting together. It's tough to trade a 33 goals, 33 goal scorer. 30 goal scorer is what I was going to say. But it's got to be done. And again, Peyton Krebs isn't fitting on this team either, as it stands. So from here, we just got to use draft picks until they're like, oh yeah, no, it's totally worth it. So just what about a second round pick? Didn't go through. We're going to make this work for us. So interesting decision that had to be made here, but it had to be made. Dahlman's got to go. Is this enough to do it? The answer is no. We'll take away that third rounder, add Washington second. Will that go through? The answer is no. Take out that, add in our first round pick. Will that go through? The answer is no. You will accept this proposal, damn it. What about now? What about 2 first rounders instead? Holy shit, Dallas is playing hardball. Dallas is playing hardball. Okay. How am I going to pull this one off then? How am I going to pull this one off? What if I were to take on Getzlaf? Will it go through now? No. Okay, what if I drop the retained salary a little bit? Let's go like 37%. What about now? Still no. You're going to retain some salary. What about now? Still no. Okay. What about now? Damn it. Okay, back up to 40. We're making this work, damn it. We're making this work. I already had to give in and have to give up Dahlman over Kravtsov, which is not something I planned on doing. We're making this work from here. Come hell or high water. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue just use Wah over Dahlman, and you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. Because we don't know how Wah is going to fit in with the team, but the problem is you look at Josh Wah and you see 94 offensive awareness already. Yeah, it's a tough player to give up. Especially when you know Wah will probably end up being better than Dahlman. You know? Dahlman is extremely well-rounded, and the issue is Dahlman doesn't fit in tremendously well on that third line anyway. That's the reason to give him up instead. I did not mean to unselect Dahlman, so allow me to go reselect him. And again, our team's still going to be good enough. It doesn't necessarily hurt our cup chances. So that Boston first has slightly more value. What if we use these two? Come on, Dallas. Okay. Well, I have 2 other forwards that I'm looking to get rid of here. That being Vesalainen and Cirelli. I will add Vesalainen to the deal. Actually, is Cirelli on an expiring contract? Because that would be perfect if he is. He is not. But I can still use him. Because I could honestly afford to retain salary on Cirelli. If I need to. But we can also throw somebody in here. Getzlaf probably isn't enough. What about Ben? Not that I want that albatross of a contract from Jamie Benn, but it could work. You give me that Heiskanen deal on 50, I take on Jamie Benn. You get a king's ransom. Actually, if you could retain salary on Jamie Benn too, that'd be great. I'm getting cocky at this point, but if this goes through, I'm willing to do it, and that'll make it easier to flip Ben. I'm just making sure that it doesn't hit like the amount where it's like, no, we're not willing to, or not even where they're not willing to do it, but they're not cap compliant if they try. I'm shocked this is still working. I guess taking Ben off the books would allow it to go just about to 50, but not quite. 47, still a bit too high. 45, still a bit too high. 42 is around the sweet spot. 43, still good. That's still good. Okay, and we found the breaking point. Good. I didn't expect the Heiskanen deal to take this much. But keeping Krebs, Dahlman, Cirelli for Heiskanen, Benn, and Götzen will not go through because of the cap implication. Not the cap implication, but the retention implications. The Bruins pick is not enough to swing it into my favor. I would rather drop the Benn retention because I still think I'll be able to throw assets at a team just to immediately be able to flip them. But let's see if we can find the sweet spot here for Jamie Benn to get this to go through. I mean, they're interested in the deal. It's just, hey, the money. And I totally get that. But Dallas, you gotta, I mean, think about how much you're picking up here in exchange for Miro Heiskanen. Just put yourself into a little bit of cap hell, and it'll be fine. I don't think they're going to be willing to retain anything on Jamie Benn. Call it a hunch. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Damn it. What about this? Still no. Man, Dallas, you are playing hardball. Sheesh. All right, fine. No retention on Benn. Accept the deal. Nope. All right. Well, I'm also going to throw Christian Vesalainen at your face. Turns out, basically, this whole Heiskanen trade's going to be one deal. I'm going to try to throw in Vesalainen rather than that first. That was really weird how that didn't save. Vesalainen, please. Now you'd have too many skaters, which is fine. I can take back a rando. And it is going to be, who the hell do you want to trade? Jovanovski. Perfect. I mean, if that goes through, we're looking good. Rather than adding a draft pick, again, I'm going to try to add cap retention on Jamie Benn's deal. I won't be able to add that much. Let's see if we can find the sweet spots. Still on it, still on it, still, nope. And right there. Will this go through? Oh my God, they're that unwilling to retain salary. Jesus. Okay, what if we drop the retained salary on Jamie Benn? Will this go through? Still no. That is unfriggin' believable. I'm giving them Vesalainen, Cirelli, Dahlman, Krebs, and keeping for Heiskanen and taking Benn off of their hands. And they're saying no because they don't want to retain nearly $5 million of Miro Heiskanen. What if I drop that down to 45? Dallas, you have to be kidding me. I will pay Miro Heiskanen that full contract, but Jesus. You gotta be kidding me. You're screwing yourselves at this point. Will this go through? Yes, it will. We found the sweet spot. We are giving up a metric butt ton to get this deal to go through, but we're going to be able to make it happen. Let's get the sweet spot to make sure that we're good. Is that it right there? Okay, we found it. So it is going to be the goaltender keeping Peyton Krebs, Isaiah Dahlman, Anthony Cirelli, and Christian Vesalainen for Miro Heiskanen, Jamie Benn, and 2 randos. Let's do it. And again, that pretty much clears out the entire list of players that I had to get rid of. Will this go through? Yes, it will. Miro Heiskanen, welcome aboard. Say goodbye to half of our team, but it's the half of the team that we had to get rid of, I promise. I'm going to try to immediately flip Jovanovski, Götzen, and Mr. Benn, if I can. And we'll see what team works here in terms of like contract and cap space. Boston, I would hate to screw over Boston, but hey, now might be the time to do it. Literally, I just need to get rid of them. It's all, wow, Boston, no retention. Just, yep, no first round pick, you got it. My God. All right, well. For the chat, the chat, for the comment section, maybe even the chat. Part of the chat that thinks I don't screw over the Bruins enough. There you go. They can take on Jamie Benn, and we get that deal out of the way. So the team as it stands now is Murray, Saros, Sparks. AHL is Askarov, Kaiser, Patera. The NHL defense is now Glebov, Heiskanen, Jones, Liljegren, Drysdale, Bouchard, and then Day or Graves could be the healthy scratch. It doesn't really matter. I guess we'll go with, these two used to be teammates in Hartford. I guess we'll go with Sean Day as our healthy scratch. Who's a two-way? Day is definitely more of a two-way. So Sean Day will be the healthy scratch there. Ryan Graves will go down. I'm going to need to sign at least one other depth defenseman or two. And now the NHL. We have Benson, Kyrou, Tkachuk, Lindholm, Goodrow, Byfield, Stud, Henridius, Watson stays, Sarainen goes down, as we're calling up Kravtsov, Perlini, and Jones. Fantastic. And we're also calling up Rhett Gardner. He's going to get an opportunity. So, Vitaly Kravtsov was not factored into the plans, but as you can tell, plans can change in an instant. That is the lesson of the day. So Dahlman was the sacrifice rather than Wah, but it was necessary. So the lines, now player types are going to change slightly, but the lines are going to be Byfield, Benson, and Tkachuk, because they are all tremendous fits on the top line. I mean, Tkachuk first and foremost, but all three of these guys are pretty damn good fits on the top line. And that is a big line. That is a physical line. I mean, that is tough to beat. Second line is going to be Goodrow, Kyrou, and Lindholm. The center of the line is going to be Kyrou. Again, all of these guys pretty damn good fits. Why is Johnny Goodrow not as good of a fit on the second line? Uh-oh. Did I just miscalculate something? This is weird because it was showing them as better fits in the trade screen. What the hell? You know, it's okay, but that's weird. It was showing Elias Lindholm as a tremendous fit on that second line. Huh. It's okay. We can survive that. But that's bizarre. Third line now, rather than Dahlman, is going to be Kravtsov, Henridius, and Stud. Yes, I'm going to play Henridius at center. And then the fourth line is going to be Jones, Gardner, and Watson, all as grinders. And hopefully they're all actually as good of fits. Rhett Gardner's actually not a great fit for the fourth line like I was hoping he was. Watson's decent. We're going to try it. I looked at overall age, potential, and scheme fit to really try to sort this out. It may have backfired a little bit in that we did get rid of some players where it's like, okay, maybe it would have been better to just get rid of Goodrow and Lindholm. But all in all, we're still going to have a really good team. And at the end of the day, we traded a lot of those guys to get Miro frickin' Heiskanen. So I don't regret it. I do not regret it. So again, line combos, player types are certainly going to have to be a factor. Looking here, Heiskanen can play anywhere. Glebov's not a great fit with this coach. Jones can play anywhere. Liljegren can play anywhere. Drysdale and Bouchard, though, are not great fits for that third pairing. So don't know exactly how I want to do that. We can split up Jones and Liljegren. Jones is probably better suited. I think we'll go Drysdale, Liljegren, Bouchard, Jones for the Edmonton connection. And that defense looks outstanding. And then Garrett Sparks and Sean Day are here. Brendan Perlini is going to be our healthy scratch at the NHL level. Let's go call him up really quickly, and then I'll get you a look at what the AHL is going to be, although obviously we have to sign some players for the AHL as we continue to sort this out. So looking here, Perlini gets the call up. And that means our AHL is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got to go sign about 5 forwards. And I think it was 2 defensemen for depth. So the defensemen under 77, the forwards under age 75. So that nobody replaces them when we go best lines. So admittedly, that seemingly backfired a little bit. Very bizarre that I swear that, the scheme fits changed. But, hey, is what it is. And again, we'll make the best of it. So our defense, again, pretty much going to look at under 77s. We need to sign 2 dudes, so we'll go for veterans. And let's go for... let's go for Roman Polak. I'd go for Sekera, but I'd be afraid it would actually put him in the lineup. And we're going to sign Jordy Ben as well. Let's get physical, baby. And then our forwards, we are going to sign 1 Brad Richardson, Brian Boyle, you're a bit too good. Sorry. Troy Brouwer is going to make it. Let's go for Brandon Dubinsky as the third option. Who else do we have? Lewis is a bit too good. Nathan Gerby will be option number 4. Former Portland Pirate. You'll love to see it. And Ryan Reeves will also be signed. So that'll bring us up to 48 contracts. Pretty much perfect. And for the hell of it, Uncle Leo Komarov, welcome aboard. So, an interesting turn of events for this team. Certainly. I do not deny that. Again, just with the way things went down in terms of the deals done with Calgary, I mean, I'm not really surprised that this happened. I am surprised that at the end of the day, at least I thought so. It might be different now, but I felt as though it was for the best to hold on to the Calgary 3. We'll see whether or not, again, that turned out to be a good decision. So again, the NHL, I got to optimize this for the start of next episode, but now the AHL, again, goalie-wise, it's Askarov and Kaiser. Defensively, it's Bruev Taylor, Piernes Graves, Broberg, and McCown. So healthy scratches of Polak and Ben, which works for me. And again, if I could just do this, that's perfect. So we'll go Graves, McCown, Broberg, Piernes. It's perfect. And then forward-wise, just to make sure there isn't anybody important, that's a healthy scratch. Malay is not ours. Gerby and Richardson we don't have to care about. And Reeves and Leonard we don't have to care about. So it's pretty much perfect. Let's send Leo Komarov down to that fourth line. Get a veteran fourth line. And we'll see what we can do here. Perfect. That works for me. I mean, again, that top 9, all prospects, all looking good. They should do one hell of a job. That defense should do a hell of a job. I mean, all in all, these teams are set up to succeed. There's no doubt about it. And I mean, for who we got rid of, you still look at this team and the fact that Henridius is now here, Kravtsov is now here, and you saw, obviously, the negative morale effects for trading away certain players. I mean, yeah, you see the effect that it had on Henridius, trading away the 4 players that we did. But all in all, I still feel extremely confident about what this team's going to be able to do, and I'm extremely excited to see what that top line can do. And again, Miro Heiskanen now on this team, and that's why we normally trade for players that are on the trade block. So with that, I'm going to call it quits for this. I'm going to just kind of, get the team set up off screen again in terms of player types and such. But I want to leave it up to you. Who's the leadership group of this team? 2 forwards and a defenseman is typically how I set up the leadership group. Let me know what you think. Now, the defenseman can be a captain or an alternate. Same thing, though, of course, for the 2 forwards. But, yeah, let me know what you think. We need we need the nominations here. I want to know who you think the leadership group of this team should be. For now, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching and supporting me on Patreon, of course, and I will catch you all next time.